moving forward, I really firmly believe that we need to integrate micro solutions where the produce is at.
So first of all, I would like to welcome Jay from iFarms, who is the founder of Umá, which is a very innovative system of digital connection of producers and consumers in our industry, and he has a lot of new ideas to share with our delegates. So Jay, welcome to Atmosphere Asia. Very happy to have you for the first time representing the innovation coming from Philippines that I think can inspire the whole world. So off to you. Very much looking forward to your presentation.
Hello, John. Thank you for inviting me over. I used to be an attendee here, but it's an honor to present what we've been working on for the past few years, and be relevant to what's happening in this time during the time. So hello everyone. My name is Jairus Ferrer, and I'm the founder and CEO of iFarms Incorporated, and it's a duly registered company in the Philippines. And we have developed Umá.ph, which is a online agri marketplace for both growers and buyers. And I would like to share to you stories and actual application of proper technology into the supply chain, and allowing data to be the driver of activities from growers all the way to consumer. So I would like to start the presentation. So the question is how data enables both growers and end users that activate supply chain. So what I have to focus on is really the three main problems that our group and company is focused on solving. And what we would like to show you is how mismatch and production in terms of growers and market, why there's so much wastage in the value chain. And that's what Cherry was citing earlier, which I 100% agree to, is the problem not just in the Philippines, but all over the world as well. So we focused on our startup agritech company, specifically focused on creating the information flow or the data river that growers and people in the value chain can actually access to be able to solve these three main problems. One is production and market mismatch. And usually growers would usually ask, what would the market need? And buyers usually would ask, where can I buy my supply? So the second issue is produce wasted due to poor handling practices. And again, this is where the multiple activities from post-harvest all the way down to cold storage and the proper tools that it needs to intervene all the way to the market. Now, the third problem that we would like to focus on is how manual purchase habits also affect the delay of getting produce from harvest to consumer. So we have, this is the common, I would say this is the common problem that everyone at different farm levels, from growers all the way from big growers to smallholder farmers, or we call them independent family farms. So the two questions to simplify is what we say for producers or growers. We say, this is what we have, who wants it? And for business consumer, we've simplified it to, this is what I need in my kitchen, and this is what I need for my business. Where can I get it? So the Umá app that we have developed, which I will share to you later on, allows these two questions to be answered. And more than anything, we have created a management tool to be able for growers to cater to their needs of proper calendar, proper post-harvest activities and saying, this is the harvest I have in the coming date. And then buyers can now book into that date, and I'll show that later on. So the two essential questions that we are putting together is these two questions. Now, for farmer engagement, we started to engage with them by integrating the Good Agricultural Practice Program in partnership with the National Office of Department of Agriculture, to be able to have that bare minimum requirement. I was telling the farmers that they were asking me, Jai, is it necessary to do Good Agricultural Practice Program? I said yes and no. No, because you can actually go through the traditional method of selling your produce. But in the digital economy, you're talking about building trust. You're talking about building a traceability, and people in the consumer level would like to know where their food comes from. So I told them that by having a bare minimum Good Agricultural Practice certification given by the Department of Agriculture, it gives them a better chance of selecting them producer in the digital system. So we were doing groundwork for the past 2 years to be able to get things moving before actually doing anything on the digital scale. Now, maybe the big question is, how does digital enablers like applications actually drive activities in the value chain? So I'd like to introduce you to Umá. Umá is a B2B farm direct marketplace that allows buyers to buy products directly from farms before they're actually harvested. So the value proposition of our system is actually sold before harvest. So we have been operating for this whole year. At the start of the pandemic, we've been using our web version as a practice pad to be able to align processes in the value chain. Now, we are about to launch our Umá Grower and our Umá Buyer app. We've been developing this for 2 years for two main reasons. One, because the grower has different needs. The grower only wants to have more control of where their food is sold, right? So we're diverting the power, the decision-making power of where their produce goes into the hands of the producer himself, right? On the other side of the spectrum is actually different types of buyers, both wholesale buyers and retail buyers, even entrepreneurs who are looking to buy local into their communities. We've understood their needs and we've applied it into the Umá Buyer app. The Umá Buyer app allows them to see what's upcoming in the coming days, right? So we provide calendar method. We provided a harvest bar for buyers to say if there's still available produce for this specific farmer and what's upcoming. And I would like to emphasize that Umá is not just limited, or it will not just be limited to fresh produce, but rather anything that is farmed. Because you have to understand the base of any industry is agriculture. And we are more than excited to be able to identify unique products in the Philippines and bringing them and broadcasting them to the world. And we're giving that power to the farmer and grower themselves. Maybe some of the audience is asking, are the farmers ready to apply technology? I would definitely say 100% yes. Because here in the Philippines, the penetration rate for mobile phones is very, very high. In fact, sometimes people actually would buy data first compared to buying some of their necessary needs, right? So we have gone to that point of ultimate penetration of technology, and especially the basic mobile phone. So that's a very good start and a very good indicator that the second generation, which is the farmers that we are working with, are already tech savvy, or I would say mobile savvy, right? So gone are the days that people would say farmers will not be able to apply technology, because some of the best farmers are found in the Philippines. Most of the best learnings that we have applied on my personal life and also in terms of business and in farming are actually stemmed from real farmers in the Philippines. So, and I've seen it from going to different farms in the country that we have so many unique products that we would like to broadcast to the world, right? So the next question is, how does data affect supply chain? So going to the next slide, I'd like to show you our solution. The solution is actually data-driven supply chain, right? Where the platform allows and gives the power for both growers and consumers to actually transact with each other. And the data generated to that actually drives the supply chain. And I'd like to show you actual application this year to be able to really show you that this is very effective. And we believe that because of the pandemic, because of what's happening in terms of the typhoons year on year in the Philippines, it's high time that we apply such technologies into the country and identifying key producing areas, not just the popular ones, not just the ones that's being broadcasted in media. There's thousands of islands in the Philippines. There's hundreds and thousands of hectares in Mindanao that is untapped. And we would like to tap this and enable them. Why? Because the people, the farmers using the digital space or the digital app will be able to see and open their eyes to the window of the opportunities of the world. So I would like to show you also in the food handling part. The second problem that we are solving also is really the proper food handling systems. And mind you, it took us 2 years to apply one solution. And this is only in one community, right? Why? Because introducing such interventions of food handling system is different to them, different to farmers. So we are excited that when they saw the result of higher yield into their products, higher profitability, and ease of doing activities in the supply chain because of introducing one solution to them, it made a lot of sense to them to actually apply it on a regular basis. So this is our 4-step crate loop system. So another question to ask really is, how did the pandemic and calamities of 2020 test the viability of Umá in operations? Again, let me clarify. Umá is a brand and product developed by our company, iFarms Incorporated. So these are to you 2 use cases. The first use case is really the wholesale buying solution, buyer solution, and the break bulk solution. So all of these are multiple solutions applied into one streamlined operations. Mind you, these are multiple solutions developed over time. And now we are in the season of putting it all together, and it works like an orchestra. So the first case study is Fruits in Season campaign. And these are one of the key products of a certain region in Nueva Vizcaya. Not a lot of people know that there is Satsuma mandarins that are being grown in Nueva Vizcaya. Or maybe there are a few people, but the common knowledge and the common knowledge of people in the market only knows it's at citrus. But citrus has actually multiple varieties. So the farmer community reached out to me and said, Jai, can you please start to promote our Satsuma mandarin to be able for the market to know that it's a premium product. So there was also a component of agri-education into the supply, because by allowing the market to understand what they are buying, it increases the chances of them actually making a purchase into the farms. And I'd like to show that to you here. So because of that, when buyers would start to understand that there is a unique product, the data-driven supply chain, data drove the supply chain. So again, applying the proper food handling system, we applied the crates in the farm. So we applied a one-touch policy all the way from the farms. After harvest, post-harvest activities was done thoroughly. And then the application of the crates was very effective, because 8 hours after harvest, it was already in Metro Manila, ready to be distributed and boxed in our fulfillment center. Now, again, these were all mostly, actually, I would say for this particular round, harvest round, it was already 80% sold prior to even harvesting. So the principle of sold before harvest works, and it's driven by application of technology and allowing people, the users of the system, both growers and buyers, to make timely decisions. And now it drives the supply chain to move forward together. Because of this campaign, we were able to engage and enable multiple entrepreneurs who were needing an extra source of income during the time of the pandemic, and also during these challenging times all over the world. But in our little operations here in the Philippines, we were able to see people started to engage and look for multiple sources of income. So we were an added source of income to them, because we started to apply different logistical solutions like the UMA box that you see there. So because there are the challenge of consumers is actually the economies of scale. They can only purchase so much. But on the farmer level, you're talking about moving tons at a time. So how do you now do that break bulk activity? That's where our staging hub comes to play. Now, because of this campaign, we were able to move 14.1 tons for one campaign from one farming community for one product, right? So this allowed us also to lessen the damage of the fruit. And again, it also played into agriculture education of a specific product like Satsuma Mandarin existing in the Philippines. And it was such a good product that people couldn't get enough of it. But again, because of seasonality, it was limited. The next use case that I would like to show you happened a few days ago. And we are still ongoing. I'm actually now here in the headquarters of where we are operating the donation drive for food security for the Typhoon ULYSSES. And we are currently feeding thousands of people on a daily basis for this particular period, November 13 to 18. And this allowed the team to understand that what we have built, both for IT systems applied into supply chain activities, has become a food security service that allowed us to effectively and efficiently move fresh produce into needed kitchens to be able to prepare meals for the evacuees. So again, the data that was ordered came into the system, and then post-harvest team gets the precise data of orders to fulfill. And also because of the tools in place, they were able to maximize the tools in place for the hubs. Now, the effectivity, and this is only 2 days ago, and it's still ongoing, the food security and relief operations was enabled and activated very quickly because people using the system were actually well informed of what was upcoming harvest, and the people in the supply chain understood the processes in place, right? So we were able to activate a kitchen and move 4.5 tons worth of vegetables being processed and cooked as we speak, as I do this conference with you. And we will be deploying meals this afternoon all the way till the evening to selected areas of the evacuees. And the amazing effect of volunteerism and the amazing effect of the digital systems coming into play allowed us to make timely decisions and move efficiently and act much quicker, much quicker than expected. So what we are saying now is, how do we now compare the value and traditional methods because of applying data-driven activities? Farmer information, price transparency, timely market information for the producers, because we're excited to allow producers to see that there is a market for their product. And at the same time, proper food handling systems. And I would like to work with this organization in really finding, as Cherry said earlier, finding those micro solutions for smallholder farmers, allowing them to take use of these tools to make it more effective for longevity of their product. And it depends on the crop as well. No? Consistency of supply comes to play because if people know, if consumers know, commissaries know, entrepreneurs or on the food industry know that there is a specific area that has the products that they need, the raw materials that they need, and the farmers or the growers know that there's an actual demand, they can start to program plant. So there are thousands of other products that we can plant here in the Philippines, but the question is, who will buy? There's so many questions to be answered, and we're hoping that our platform would be able to answer these and hopefully activate more land, more idle land in the country. That's one also, of course, making it convenient for payment systems. And by putting all of these efficiencies in place one by one, we are hoping to lessen the wastage in the value chain. So that's it for me, and I am open to questions and more discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jay. It was a fantastic presentation. And I would like to say thank you to you on behalf of the communities and the farmers and the individuals that you were able to help in not only one crisis, but another one that just hit the Philippines really hard just days ago. So I think it's very humbling and actually amazing that you were able to respond with your business so quickly and to help in times of need. So it's really humbling, and thank you again for all of that. We had a chance to catch up a couple of days ago to discuss about your activities, and you have mentioned this was even before the typhoon hit, but you were discussing about extension of your facilities and your operations. So it seems you are expanding. The typhoon itself and what you were able to bring to the table, will it accelerate your growth as a concept, as a new business model? You plan to also build your own cold storage facility. Can you tell us a little bit more about your plans going forward?
Okay, so our enabling company, we have provided processes and tools that it allows us to scale up much faster than expected. And I believe, I'm a firm believer, and I've seen it, that there are many underutilized facilities already built in the country. Cold storage owners that I've spoken to have actually said there's a certain number of months, pre-COVID season, of course, that their capacity in their cold chain facilities are unutilized. But you're talking about the big players in the main cities. Moving forward, I really firmly believe that we need to integrate micro solutions where the produce is at, right? For example, there are two communities that we are start with, again, as outside from the Nueva Vizcaya community, that have shown interest in providing the space and the land, because there's electricity and water. And what we go there is we introduce to them processes and management principles to be able to manage these tools well, right? So it's very interesting because it starts to become a family activity for them. The father is involved, the wife is involved, the children are involved, and it gets to have unique dynamics of technology being introduced to the children, but the farming practice is practiced by the father. The management is actually handled by the wife, right? Actually, that unique dynamics that will make this all work. Now, moving forward, John, I think one of the things that we were talking about at that time is how do you bring this to scale? I believe that there has already so much money and resources spent to build facilities. I believe what the is actually proper accountability of these facilities, right? Especially if it's coming from government grants or government projects. And I really agree with what Cherry said earlier, where the ownership is very, very important. Now, to engage, I believe to be able to, for us to engage with community development organizations, right, is aside from training, there has to have what we call values formation, and allowing them that, you know, we have to develop financial management, we have to develop people business management, for them to actually appreciate that these tools is a part of a bigger component of a food supply chain. So with our activities, John, we are excited to actually move and activate groups and cooperatives who have the scalability, but at the same time, because independent family together becomes a cooperative, and they would like to actually have a management platform for them to move forward into marketing their produce. And at the same time, we're excited to provide them data of what they can actually plant at this particular period. So again, it's an ecosystem that we're providing, and we're excited and looking forward to collaborating more with companies, more with communities, and also international partners like this community, that there is a big opportunity here in the Philippines, but we have to go outside the metro. We have to go outside to the communities and really see what is it available out there, right? We should really move and go to the ground and really see what activities, what are the basic needs that has to be put in place, what are the milestones that we need to achieve together to be able to get to that point of, okay, here's the cold chain tools that you can actually integrate together, right? So, John, there's a lot of activities happening, but we are starting to see the movement and people getting attracted to what we're doing. But we are more excited to see changed lives in the years.
Thank you very much, Jay. And we are happy that we can extend the Atmosphere platform to reach out even more stakeholders around the world to provide inspiration to local communities. And we wish you best of luck. And thank you again for supporting the local communities in such difficult times.